And we welcome you to another victorious edition of the Voluntary Reaction presented by the Griffin Law Firm. I am Russell Smith alongside Davey Hudson of Outkick. We also have Bear and Walker Smith in the White Claw Hard Seltzer studios tonight as it's a final out. Tennessee defeats Kentucky 56-34. Back to the coal mines. Get back in there. Get back in that coal mine, you toothless, slack-jawed yokel.
Thought they were going to slip up on us.
The Volunteers piling up 500 yards of total offense and 56 points tonight against Kentucky up at the Krog. And, Bear, it never gets old beating Kentucky.
No, it doesn't in any sport, but especially in football. I like that those people were able to get home at a decent hour and get in bed and get some rest before they have to be back at United Mines or whatever it is, wherever they work up there. So
you got to be up early to get to the company store. Is
yeah.
The company store open on Sunday?
I don't know.
Davey Hudson live in Nashville this evening. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, guys. I'll be honest, a little under the weather, but a Tennessee win helps to lift the spirits. And listen, tonight, going to be a lot of conversation as it relates to the defense. I think I know what most fans are going to be saying when they call in, but you got to at least feel good about the offense getting things back in rhythm after a poor performance ultimately last week against Alabama. So, again, you finally, this used to be a big deal, but you're bowl eligible now. You got to 6 wins, but I did like a lot of what I saw from Tennessee's offense tonight, and it's glad to see them get back up on the saddle.
Indeed. We had all 3 wide receivers tonight go over 100 yards receiving for the game. Have we ever done that? 3 receivers, 100 yards in a game?
I have no clue.
If we did, it was surely in the Peyton era.
It really kills me. We were 4 yards short of Joey having a 400-yard passing. He had 396 passing. We had 108 rushing. I wonder what I was wondering this earlier. When's the last time we had a 400-yard passer?
I think Hendon got there.
I don't think Hendon ever broke 400.
I don't know. We'll have to go back
Maybe
and comb
Alabama
through the record books for that one. I know Peyton certainly did it a couple of times, but that's up near the school record, 496. I want to say the school record was Peyton was like 495 against Florida in 96.
I thought that Tyler Bray shattered that record.
Oh, he might
like
have a 500 yarder. Troy.
Yeah. It was like a basketball score by the end of that thing.
Okay. All right. Well, shout out to
Jared Garantano.
Really?
415.
That's not the record.
No. But that's
it was the last time we had a
it.
400-yard passer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to JG, whose ongoing reclamation project is that's good. 865-966-3435. Your phone number. Text me the phone calls, boys, and we'll get things rolling. 865-966-3435. If you want to get on the Voluntary Reaction post-game show tonight, we'll be with you for as long as it takes. Tennessee beats Kentucky, and now we turn our attention. There hasn't been that signature moment, that huge win yet this year. And we've got an opportunity, I think, next week. I don't know how good this Oklahoma team is. I've seen them play a couple of times. I've been impressed sometimes, not too impressed other times. I didn't think they were that great at home today in a close loss to Ole Miss, certainly. But they are a team that is the Oklahoma Sooners, and they're coming in, and you gotta reckon with that if you're Tennessee. So we'll talk about that. It is 7:30. Is that official now? Night game in Neyland?
Yes, absolutely.
So, the day after Halloween, night game in Neyland, dark mode, ABC, what's not to love? What a scene that is going to be. Dare I say, Geraldo, it will be borderline dangerous in Neyland Stadium 1 week from tonight. And we got 3 really hard games coming up, man. I mean, say what you will about Florida. Winning in the Swamp is never easy. And we'll talk about Vanderbilt when we get there. Angus is up first tonight on the Voluntary Reaction post-game show brought to you by the Griffin Law Firm. Go ahead, Angus.
First of all, Russell, I'm so glad you're back. I'm not going to pry into any of stuff that you've got going on, but I'm just glad you're back, buddy.
Glad to be back, man. It's been a minute since we've all convened here late at night on the Voluntary Reaction. Like old times, my friends.
Yeah, just like old times. And like old times, we beat the brakes off that Wildcat ass. I'm drinking from the keg of glory. In fact, I've got a little keg inside my kitchen with my surname etched on it. Having a little bit of barrel-aged Tennessee whiskey.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so I kind of like. I mean, I'm kind of with Davey on Heupel's personality, both on the sideline and in interviews. But I liked what he had to say insofar as he didn't like a lot of what he saw from the defense today, and had a lot of positive things to say on the offense because. Oh, my God. Did Joey Aguilar ball out or did he ball out?
I thought it was a terrific performance by our quarterback today. He's got to still be sore after that shot he took last week down there against Alabama. But they chose to play the run just like Alabama did, which is probably smart on their part. But they absolutely could not cover us. And we'll get into our defensive issues, but teams have trouble covering Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, and, of course, Chris Brazzell. And when Joey's on, it's hard to stop. So it's a pick-your-poison thing. Bama and Kentucky tried to stop the run, and we threw on them. And when the teams try and stop the pass, we run on them like Arkansas. So, right.
They did that one high safety, and they were determined to stifle our run. So – you're getting a one high safety against these 3 wide receivers with this quarterback who really put on a clinic tonight. I thought one of the things that jumped out at me as far as his movement in the pocket and just how smooth he is. I mean, he'll just move. It doesn't seem like he's moving very far.
He just kind of
glides. But he gets to a spot. He never takes his eyes off what's going on downfield, and then he's just looking to uncork one.
Is there any chatter about one more year?
I don't think so.
Can we sue somebody?
I mean, Pavia, I think if he were able to get one, it would be Pavia.
Let's sue somebody, Davey. Let's sue somebody. Get Joey back here another year.
I think Pavia's case got – I'll look that up, but there was something, I think, within the last week that I saw on that.
Yeah, let's take somebody to court, man. Let's get Joey back here. Can you imagine, Angus, this kid with Matthews and Staley back – and the Keys kid next year, a full year in the system, complete mastery, just roasting defenses. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. But, it ain't going to mean a thing if we don't do something with their defense. And I actually want to ask you and especially Davey, because I think Davey's been on Heupel's case for the past several weeks about his kind of aw shucks mentality with the things going on the field. But he said both at halftime and in the post game on the field questions from the sidelines, he just said, I don't like a lot of what I saw from the defense. And, Davey, you always say you don't see a lot of emotion out of him or him giving a lot of hints to the press. But do you think that may be the Heupel way of giving some hints that, hey, Tim, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from your defense, man. I mean, this is not a good Kentucky team, and we shouldn't be giving all of these explosive plays to a team that's this bad.
Yeah, I would say this week, there weren't many situations where Heupel really, you needed him to show that emotion. You got up 28-7 early, and I know Kentucky was able to kind of get back in. I'm sure he's frustrated with the defense. We all are. I personally think it's more of a personnel than a coaching problem. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but right now, I think next week is going to be one of those games, Angus, where it is going to be a much lower scoring game. Obviously, this was very high scoring, even for Tennessee standards. But I think you're going to see some of these plays where it kind of comes down to the moment, and you need Heupel on them. Fortunately for us, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like we didn't have as many penalties as we've had in the past. But again, there's still a lot of opportunities where you don't get a lot of holding calls against Tennessee's. Or our defense doesn't generate a lot of holding calls on the opposing team's offense. I was trying to pull up the stats right here.
Well, I'll tell you who should have got a holding call was that DB. It was Brazel was trying to show the ref. It was one play. It was the one. Remember the ball he caught in the end zone where he came down out of bounds. We ended up scoring on the drive. It was in the second half.
Yeah.
His shirt, like his.
Oh, yeah, he ripped his shirt open.
It was like it's a huge hole. You can see his whole sting. He looked down at it. He was looking at the ref.
That was awesome, though, because he's just laughing.
Yeah.
He's just laughing at the guys. We were toying that we were playing with our food a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I'm just saying it stuck out to me that even in a blowout winning effort, Heupel made sure to comment that he was dissatisfied with something, because most other coaches would just say, "Hey, we're playing a good game. It's always nice to have a sure win and all that stuff." It just stuck out to me that he still had something to say about the defense beyond the perfunctory. We still have a lot of things that we got to work on. He specifically was like, "I didn't like what I saw on the defense."
Well, good.
And, but anyways, I'm going to get off here. But Russ, first of all, I got a drink in my hand and I'm raising it to you, buddy. Welcome back.
Thank you, Angus. Appreciate the phone call. Angus drops off. That creates a line available for you. You seasoned voluntary reaction callers know the drill. Guy drops off. That's your cue to dial 865-966-3435. Your number to get up with us here this evening. Rando is next. What's up, Rando?
Gentlemen, yet again, Mr. Stoops with his stupid look on his face.
Boy, could he be more checked out, Rando?
He probably couldn't, but damn it, Russ, he's going to try, because he's got 30 million reasons to check the fuck out. He really does. And what is that now? 1-9? 1-9 for Bitch Boy Bob against us. Is that the score
for Stoops?
1-9. Yeah.
Oh, he's beaten us 3 times.
Okay.
Or no, 2 times, because
okay.
Joker Phillips got us the first time. Stoops, I think, has gotten us twice up there.
That's correct.
Okay. Was one of his 2 with the wide receiver?
No, that was Joker Phillips. When did he beat us? He got us in 2017, botches last year, and then 2020 in Neyland.
Yeah, so the only times we've ever lost
so right.
We've won 37 of the last 40, and the 3 losses we fired the coach that year. So Pruitt would have been 2020. I believe that game was in Neyland. That was when JG had multiple pick sixes.
Yes.
Yes, that was. I remember watching that game on my phone in the garage, and that's one of the few games that I turned off, was that 2020 game. I was completely checked out at that point. I was completely done. Well, the sun goes up, the sun goes down. The planets revolve around the sun, and seasons change, and Tennessee owns Kentucky in football. I mean, these are things that we can count on. And, I'll be honest, man. I fell asleep in the second half tonight, because God bless, that game was boring in the second half.
That's what we wanted. That's what we needed.
Oh no, Davey, I do not disagree. I did not need drama tonight, especially with those clowns in Lexington. But the defense played better, ? In the second half. They certainly were terrible in the first half. And I don't know if that was a case of Stoops waving the white flag and just saying, "Look, I really don't care. Please fire me. Give me $30 million."
I mean, that guy used to have fire and passion on the sideline. You could tell it really meant something, and it drove him crazy that he couldn't beat us, and it felt like he was always putting in a little extra. Tonight, they show him over there on the side, and even early before the game got out of hand, and he's just sort of walking around, just taking it all in. The most emotion he showed was when he was trying to lobby for a targeting penalty against Perlotti, who was a stud, by the way, at the end of that game when he was just chewing that official out, and it wasn't targeting. Like, I don't know what to tell him.
Was he saying targeting or just trying to advocate for it being a late hit?
Maybe. I don't know.
It clearly wasn't targeting.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't a late hit either.
You could argue it. I can see the case for
mean, they didn't call it when the guy popped Brazel. It was the same exact thing. Now, Brazel's made of tougher stuff than that wuss from Kentucky, and he didn't take off his helmet and lay on the ground and caterwaul about it, but it was the same thing.
Yeah, it was the offense looked great tonight overall. I know we absolutely took our foot off the accelerator in the second half. Stoops looks like the guy who's married the town whore, and she's been, exposed having another affair, and he's just, fuck it, I just don't even care anymore. I mean, that's Bob Stoops for you. So I hate it. I hate it for him, not really. But lay down with dog and wake up with fleas, buddy. So enjoy your remaining time in Lexington there, Bob. I hope
Bob's just collecting a check from Sonic right now.
Yeah, I hope we see him. Bob, not Mark. Jesus. I hope we see Mark next year on the sidelines in Neyland, because I'd love to just smack his ass one more time. And then again after that. The schedule gets real after this, boys. Oklahoma's not going to be a easy out, and winning in Swamp is never easy. God knows we've been the better team and lost there before. And guys, I'm dead ass serious when I say I'm a little nervous about Vanderbilt this year. They've certainly got the best team they've had in our lifetime. It's the first time they've been this good since Hitler was still drawing breath. So there's that for you. But guys, I'll take the win. I mean, we covered the spread, we covered the over, and that put money in my pocket tonight. And always good to send bitch boy Mark back to the coal mines. So we've got that going for us. On to the next, and let's go beat Duke tomorrow night. And all hail Elander. God knows I mentioned that at halftime, but man, that feels good. Entirely different vibe from this time last week. And love you guys. Talk to y'all soon. And on to the next, guys. We're bowl eligible for whatever that's worth in this day and age. See you.
Thank you, Rando. Appreciate the phone call. Davey, let's talk about the defense here for a second.
Yeah, can I add one real point or a quick point before I forget it? The moment Mark Stoops, stopped being Mark Stoops as far as that grittiness, it was whenever he did not get the Texas A&M coaching job.
Yeah.
And now he's watching, today Elko leads that team into Baton Rouge, Death Valley. Baton Rouge.
Yeah, there's
Death
no
Valley.
way in hell Stoops does that.
No. I'm with you, but I'm just saying from his mental psyche at that point, it's just
he would have had a lot of that talent. They were able to keep a lot of players from the Fisher era, Dave, and they've got the money. They've got resources that he doesn't have up there. And this is what's interesting about the new world of college athletics that we live in is schools are making their choices. Right? Schools are deciding. In Kentucky, I think they've decided they don't give a shit about football. And they'll pay lip service to it. I mean, they're going to – I don't know. Maybe they won't run this guy out. He's got a huge buyout. Maybe they'll just make him some sort of punishment, make him just keep coming back to work next year and beyond until that buyout goes down. But they've clearly made a decision. We're going all in on basketball. That's where we're going to funnel – we're going to funnel probably extra revenue share and most of our NIL. They're paying, what was the note this week? $24 million in just NIL, I believe, for basketball. That doesn't even include.
Yeah, it's insane. Their basketball budget is bigger than most. I mean, the teams that are wanting to compete for the playoffs, their basketball team is funded at the same level like Tennessee, Ohio, all these big football schools are.
But you see, Arkansas has basically said, we're going to take money away from women's basketball so that we can have baseball and basketball and, of course, football. And then LSU's kind of they're not giving our boy McMahon. They're going all in on baseball, women's basketball, and football. So this is the challenge for Danny White in Tennessee and our boosters, right? Is you want to be in everything school? Like that's hard to do.
It takes a lot of money.
That is hard to do, and I don't think everybody's going to be able to do it. But, Davey, getting back to the defense, I kind of agree with you. And, I'm going to get roasted for this, but I don't know that you have to blow Tim Banks out of here.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know that it's scheme. Like, we lost the 2 corners from last year, and we're playing without Arian Carter tonight, who I know hasn't been great, but he's been good. And then you lose all those defensive linemen that we had last year, a bunch of guys who are playing in the NFL right now. And it's not like we see a ton of busts. I don't – we've had 1 or 2 this year. I don't see guys just running wide the fuck open through our secondary. We're not fast enough. We're not athletic enough. We're not –
Well, my big thing is just the missed tackles and the angles. Like, our secondary takes half the time.
Well, they get themselves out of position. I think it starts pre-snap. It doesn't appear that we're at times it makes me crazy because it looks like we can't get lined up, and they're motioning to each other, and especially linebackers and secondary right up to the snap of the ball. And I don't know. I really wish Boo had been around campus all summer instead of trying to start his rap career or whatever it was out in California he was up to. Did he go back in after he got burnt, or did they just fly him?
Yeah, he was returning punts.
I mean, if you can't cover better than that, and you just quit running,
that's rough.
That film study, yeah, it's going to be a difficult day for him.
A lot of guys, man. We saw Beasley back in there. I saw Walton lay the lumber to somebody. Perlotti, obviously. I mean, that dude, you talk about closing speed.
That's what as soon as I was like, wow, you had a really good point. That quarterback, it looked like it kind of shook him up, not physically, but like
mentally. Like, how did you get to me? How about Taylor Green? That Taylor Green, that play where Perlotti busted him out on the sideline, and he got it. He's like, how did you hit me? And then you saw that a couple of times tonight.
He's got elite just explosion.
As it relates to the personnel, I think this offseason will be the busiest we have seen the transfer portal. And I say that because you look at the amount of jobs that are opening up, especially in the SEC. Last couple of years, you've not had just an absolute deluge of coaches being fired. I mean, right now you're looking at Brian Kelly's likely getting fired. Billy's already been fired. Pittman's already been fired. Like, I could see Beamer, that they've got some good defensive guys on Beamer's team right now. I could easily see him bolting, taking the Virginia Tech job, resetting the clock. FSU, they're going to run Norville out.
I hate to interrupt you, but he came out again and said he's not interested in going back to Virginia Tech. He doesn't want to go back there.
He might not go there, but I could easily see him resetting his clock somewhere else. I mean, the way they blew that game, it was rough, man. Like, Alabama should have had a loss.
That was hard to watch.
That
man.
was
the way they blew that.
Just set your Bama hatred aside, Davey, and that was just hard for anybody to. You could see it coming.
What was worse, the state collapse or Carolina?
Carolina, because the state collapse was more of like a slow bleed.
And with 10 minutes left to go in the game, Texas had a 1.4% chance of winning, and they cashed that lottery ticket.
I know, but I'm trying to think of the exact number, but I think it was it a 10-point lead for South Carolina at the 2:16 mark in the fourth quarter? And you find a way to blow it in regulation? I might be a little off on that, but I mean, it was bad either way. But I mean, you're just going to continue to see, like, these schools be like, we have to make a move. Oh, I forgot about Hugh Freeze at Auburn. He's going to get fired. Brent Venables very well could get fired. I mean, he's coaching for his job next Saturday when he comes into Neyland.
Hey, our guy J Vol said that yes, Boo did play after that because he got a pass interference penalty. Thank you, J Vol.
Good to know he made a mark. Let's get our next caller in here. This is Roberto. What's up, Roberto?
Evening, Russ. Good
How
to hear you back.
Yes,
as
sir.
everybody else has said. Man, today is just a total mood shift from last Saturday. I said it at halftime, and I say it again. That 12:37 today when that notification hit my phone, and I was like, oh, they did something right. They hired Elander. I was like, okay, vibes are good. Our defense isn't any good. That hasn't changed from last week. I'm still ready to run Banks out on a rail after the year. I don't think he can do it mid-season. If you could, what would be funny is if we beat them next week. Let's say we beat them like 56-49 because we can't stop them, and they fire Brent Venables on the tarmac, and we're just like, hey, Brent, why don't you just come over here for the rest of the season? What do you think about that, Russ? Is that a dream scenario?
I'm here for it. I mean, that's obviously an upgrade in terms of your coordinator. I just don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's why David Cutcliffe never took the job here, because we wouldn't hire Kurt Roper. There is such thing as being too devoted to somebody. And I know Josh has histrionic, or not even histrionic, just like he has generational trauma built in from being fired by Stoops' brother. By the way, I just knew, I was just 1,000,000% sure that we were going to try to score a touchdown there at the end. So
I wanted it so bad.
I threw some shekels on Tennessee because I know Josh just hates the Stoops family. And I was like, oh, he's going to do it if he can. And then he took a knee, and I was like, son of a bitch. Like, run it up when you can. It's fucking Kentucky. Anyways, back to point, I'm very pleased, obviously, with our offense. You'd be a fool not to be. And I noticed that they flipped it out to Staley. Did you guys notice that? He basically slid down after he got 1 yard.
Yeah, and then
you know why they did that?
Because were we just trying to get him his 100 yards?
Yeah, he was on 99. I love that they actually knew that. I think that's the first time we've ever had 3 100-yard receivers in a game under Heupel. I'm not sure. I'm sure Davey will cross-check that.
It's the first time since 2019 when JG gave it to
Jennings, Marquez, and Palmer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't happened in the Heupel era.
Against
Kentucky?
Oh.
Other hated team.
Wait.
Vanderbilt?
Nope.
You talking Missouri?
Mm-hmm. It was Missouri.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what?
We could have just gone through the entire SEC when you said the other hated team.
No, I mean there's levels of there's levels of disgust. I didn't realize Aguilar was 20 of 26 for 396.
He was 6 of 6 on passes of 35+ yards, which was very high.
To be able to hit the bomb again, isn't it, boys?
It's such a satisfying feeling whenever you hit a bomb.
it's like in your mouth, mother.
That was the first time. Go ahead, Roberto.
Good. No, please, Davey.
I was just going to say, as far as like us taking advantage, like why we struggled to run the ball, I think that was the first time this year I remember seeing their defense in a 3-man front against us. But we had a lot of issues with that in years past.
Well, I can say this. Joey's deep balls tonight were absolutely beautiful. They were perfect. I mean, the one he threw to Brazel, not the 51-yarder, but the other one. No, it was the 51-yarder. I mean, he put it between his face mask and shoulder pad. It was perfect. It's fun to watch these guys play. Oh, hello?
Yeah, it's just so fun to watch your team throw it all over the yard. We've missed that so much, man. Just being able to go out there and just fling it all over the place, and they can't really stop it. And Roberto, we've done that to everybody this year. We've just stopped ourselves.
Right. Well, and our defense, as bad as it was,
yeah.
Kentucky doesn't score that many points, and I'm not blaming this. Okay, so our defense is bad, but also Kentucky had more possessions tonight than I think they've had in any game this year, because Tennessee outscored, and they could have. Let's just say Tennessee could have scored 60 easy. They were absolutely going to give us another touchdown. You realize no team scored more than 35 on them this year until tonight? I didn't know that until at the end of the game when I went to look it up. And they had a ton of possessions. Of course, they're going to score a ton of points. So some of that's a little skewed. But they had 2 mega plays. And by the way, that number one, people are pissing and moaning when he took that screen down the sideline. They were just pissing and moaning to me. And I'm like, guys, they're like, we took a terrible angle. No, we didn't. That motherfucker outran the angle. That dude is fast. And if he was a senior, I'd say
number one.
I'd say
he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. We screwed up. You can't give him the sideline like that. You can't. You got to funnel that back into where your help's at in the middle of the field. So
we let Cutter Boley go 26 of 35 for 330 yards and 5 touchdowns tonight.
Well, he had the 2.
That dude cooked us, man.
How wide open was the double pass there in the second?
Oh,
that kid just got all.
Oh, he was 5 yards ahead of the defender. There wasn't anyone within a set of downs of him, and he overthrew him by another set of downs.
Roberto, thanks. We're going to get some other folks in here. How about this note from friend of the show, Aaron Torres? One of Brian Kelly's first moves as LSU coach was firing Tommy Moffitt, a legendary strength coach who was a part of all 3 LSU titles this century. And a former I believe he was a John Stuckey protege here in Knoxville, who we tried to hire a couple of times. Moffitt is now the strength coach at A&M. And it's the second year in a row A&M has been absolutely bullied by LSU. That's got to sting.
Kind of reminds me of like when we didn't keep Jim Chaney around.
Yeah. It's always tough when one of your own comes back to get you. Lord, I hope Tony Vitello has immense success in Major League Baseball, because I do not want to see him coaching another team in Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Going back to the defense, so you look at Tennessee today, we'll say offensively. We only had 2 drives that were less than 6 plays. That were more than 6 plays. One was the 10-play drive right before the end of the half to score the touchdown, and then the last one was a 12-play drive just as you're trying to end the game. So one of the things I kind of view it from the lens of is our defense isn't good to begin with, and then they're spending so much time out on the field, and you're already kind of decimated at some of your key positions there. It's just going to continue to pile up, and it's just like you can't catch a break. So I don't know, man. It's rough.
That's what's frustrating about it is we've got some good players, and we have a lot of negative play. We have a lot of tackles for loss and sacks and stuff like that. We didn't have as many tonight, sacks anyway. We had a lot of tackles for loss. We create turnovers. Shout out to Farouk with the tip ball and the pick six. Absolutely. But then we turn around. I mean, you talk about third and Chavis. Third and Banks has been automatic this year. And it's the weird thing is you almost feel like I feel better on third and short than I do on third and long.
I've said it all season long, Russ. We're better. I guarantee you, if we get our boy Walker to crunch the numbers, we can get off the field easier if it's 3rd and 6 and under. And when it's 3rd and super long, teams are obviously going to pass. And
yeah,
I mean, we're a sieve back there right now. Any chance we get McCoy back?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. I don't know, man. I mean, Davey, I know you listen to the pod a lot. It was a weird week. We didn't talk much football, and I don't think we mentioned Jermod McCoy. And like that's a situation we've been monitoring continuously all season long. I don't think we talked about his. I don't think we mentioned his name this week.
I didn't hear anything going into the week as far as like we might be getting him back. Like as far as like just like rumblings outside.
I keep hearing the one thing I keep hearing. I haven't talked to him. Like this is just hearsay, but Like, I've heard that the kid wants to come back. He is busting his tail in the rehab process. And he's just waiting to get cleared. So, I mean, if we go on a playoff run, you would think that like he would want to be a part of that. We've got another off week coming up. So like you always wonder, okay, does he try and ramp up during the off week and come back after that? But at this point, I'm beginning to lean towards we probably don't see him.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see from what Heupel apparently said something earlier in the week about Ricky Gibson. Probably sounds like we aren't going to see him until spring ball. I mean, I guess what we've got back there is what we've got.
Which is tough because that William Wright kid is a walk-on, man. He looks like a damn bobblehead out there. I mean, bless his heart. I'm sure he's trying his best, but that's not an SEC corner.
No.
And the Redmond kid, it just feels like he maybe hit the freshman wall a little bit.
Yeah, he's a kid that at a lot of other times in Tennessee football history, you know, he would have been sitting on. He'd have been learning. He'd have been playing late in games like tonight where it was a blowout. We wouldn't be having to rely on him to be covering the number 2 receiver for the other team the way we are. And then Colton Hood, I was, listening to the radio on the way over here. It was right after halftime. I just turned your show off, your halftime chat off, just in time to hear Mike Key saying Colton Hood has come out for warm-ups, moved around, and he's immediately gone to the injury tent. So, but I guess he played some in the second half, so hopefully
we referenced that 2012 Troy game where it was like a combined 1,500 yards of total offense or something. We might be getting to see that part 2 next week.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't run the ball, and Mateer, he's still not throwing it great.
Neither Kentucky. You saw what they did to us.
That's true.
And now Colton Hood's banged up.
Their defense is better than Kentucky's, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think we can move the ball and score on anybody.
I don't think Vegetables is stupid enough to stay in a one safety the way Stoops is. That's just dumb. You're just if you're gonna play Heupel with one safety over the top, you're just asking to get cornholed, in my opinion.
Carson is next on the Voluntary Reaction presented by the Griffin Law Firm.
Nope, we're going to Brady. Carson dropped, my man.
Brady is next. Hello, Brady.
Hey.
Hey.
Coming back from Lexington, glad to bring him. Glad. Sorry.
Brady, you been boozing in the tailgate beforehand?
Glad
good, bud. You got it.
Back to the goal, man.
Attaboy. Send him back.
On.
Send him back, Brady. I thought maybe somebody was giving Brady a little bit of Grandpa's old cough syrup there.
Back to the goal lines. Get in there.
I tell you what, we encourage the younger callers. Like, I don't know if I encourage the younger listeners, but obviously Brady's parents think that he's old enough for the Voluntary Reaction experience. That's each their own. He comes on. He was a little nervous, obviously, had trouble getting to it, but he stopped, he gathered himself, and he delivered the line. We're proud of you, son. Well done, sir.
That's real resilience right there.
Absolutely. Matty Ice is next. What's up, Matty Ice?
What's going on, boys? I'm beating a dead horse here, and I'll just get right to it. And I have a question for you at the end, Davey. How much of us are eating crow for letting Jacoby Thomas walk away and go to Miami?
I mean, we've talked about it.
I was worried about when that happened.
Yeah.
Like when he left, and I know they probably just money whipped us on that one, but you see how big a deal it is.
For sure. And my thought is, like, they definitely overpaid. Like, he's only had 15 tackles, 1 interception on the year, but, like, nobody can really attest to injuries on the year. But when you see guys like Turntine and just the terrible angles they take, it's, to y'all's point, can you all imagine had Nico not entered the portal and imagine this offense trying to navigate as many points as it possibly could under Nico right now? Like, thank goodness for Joey Aguilar.
God bless the broken road that led us to Joey, right? It was a mess, and we thought that was going to be a disaster over the summer. And we got our offense back. We got our swagger now. But the ironic thing is, Maddie, we might not make the playoff. We might miss out playing a more exciting brand of football, but
so the stat they showed the graphics that we've got an 18% chance of making the playoffs, but then over next to it it said if we win out it goes up to 90%.
Yeah, so that's based off right now. Like what are your odds given everything to happen as far as the odds you lose other games moving forward? But then it's just simply saying it's like you go down the list, check Tennessee wins. Then it puts it at 90% based off everything else. That's a likely outcome for all these other teams.
See, now is that 90% based off of everyone else also winning out though? Because when you look at A&M, I mean, when Ole Miss won today, I basically was ready to jump off a cliff because I essentially had them locked in now because I think they were at 71% chance. And it feels like from there on, like, I guess, Davey, like, I don't see – it's hard to imagine more than 4 SEC teams getting in because Alabama's in, Georgia's in, A&M with a win today over LSU's in, Ole Miss winning, like, those feel like the locks, and it's just hard to see a 5th SEC team getting in.
Yeah, so as far as not every other team winning out, because when you look at the other schedules, it just takes kind of I think they do the ESPN FPI. So some of those other teams that are still there still have to play some of the teams in front. So whoever has the highest percentage of winning versus those teams, it just automatically gives them the win in this scenario. I was going to pull it up because, I mean, last year you had 2 ACC teams sneak in. And right now, I mean, Miami and Georgia Tech, that's likely 2 ACC teams to get in. Notre Dame wins out. They will be in. Probably just 1 Big Ten team. I would imagine 1 Big 12 team and 3 Big Ten teams because Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State are likely locked. So, I mean, with all that happening, yeah, you're probably only looking at 4 SEC teams max.
We're going to need chaos. I mean, even if we went out, we need some chaos, but a lot of ball left. Hey, Davey, don't let Bear heckle you too much tomorrow. I know you're going to have on your Blue Devil tutu or whatever. You're going to watch the game, but have no fear. Russell, I thought it was funny on Friday when I asked about the starting lineup for tomorrow. Our colleague, Bob Baskerville, basically said Bishop Boswell wasn't even in the 8-man rotation, and then they announced him as the starting guard tomorrow. I just thought that was kind of funny. So we'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Have a great night, boys, and as always, go Vols.
So
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, appreciate you, buddy.
Rick Barnes-esque, isn't it?
I watched most of Duke versus UCF, and Tennessee should win tomorrow if they actually play to win. I know Rick sometimes might just get other guys in there. Again, it's you just look at the stars, very talented Duke team, but I think Tennessee with their veteran presence, because obviously, Rick has those guys that have been in the system for a while, and then also bringing in Jacoby, who is a player that has that experience at an elite level. I think Tennessee will be too much for Duke tomorrow. As far as what I want, I just want everybody to stay healthy in this because, I mean, as we've seen, you just got to make sure that in the post play, the injuries kind of built up and started to hurt Tennessee last year. So can JP Estrella, are we expecting him to actually, be full go starting tomorrow?
Rick has made cryptic remarks about a couple of guys they're ramping up, and you kind of wonder if he's one of them. One is definitely Cade Phillips because he's got the shoulder thing, which I'm afraid is going to be a lingering thing all year. But I think we're going to see both of them tomorrow.
He also did mention he was talking about the Indiana game where, I mean, he basically said, that was a game that we probably could have won, but I wanted to. I can't remember exactly how he put it the other day.
He said with 10 minutes to go in the game, he decided he was just going to get some guys some run, and then it kind of fell apart. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to college basketball atmosphere. I mean, a sold-out Thompson Bowling Arena with Duke
the smell
in town.
Of popcorn in the air.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast tomorrow night. So, really looking forward to that one. 865 966-3435, your phone number to get on the voluntary reaction. As I remind you, we are presented, as always, by our good friend Marshall Griffin and his wonderful company, the Griffin Law Firm. Marshall is a VFL. He is a Navy veteran. He is an all-around swell guy. And for our armed service members who are listening, or people who work for a federal agency like the DOE, the FBI, the FCC, the DOD, you're out in Oak Ridge or whatever, and you find yourself accused of a serious offense by the government, you're having trouble collecting your pay, you're having trouble with a security clearance issue, a license, anything like that. A lot of folks don't even know they have legal recourse in those situations, but you do. Call the Griffin Law Firm. They're ready to represent you through whatever your challenge might be. Call Marshall and his team at 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. You can also visit them online at griffinlawdefense.com. Remember, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law, 888-707-4282, online at griffinlawdefense.com. DR Vol is next. Hello, DR.
What's going on, guys? I got a tweet a while ago. Somebody tweeted me and said the team are singing the fight song. Everybody's got their arms around each other, all but one. Voodoo Carter, standing there by himself.
You know, I don't want to speculate on anything that's going on behind the scenes too much. I haven't heard that he's, I haven't really heard anything about him since the beginning of the season, other than what we see on the field. If he's a cancer, and you know he's gone at the end of the year, at what point do you just give him the boot? Just tell him to, hey man, go ahead. Like, we appreciate you. We'll pay you through the end of the season or whatever, but this ain't working. You're not dialed in here, obviously. So,
he did force the final fumble in the Keystone Cop sequence on that play. He was the one who knocked it loose.
Until he muffs a punt, I'm not gonna go too hard on him as far as like no longer being on the team. I don't know of anybody else they can send back there that I feel confident is at least going to just catch it. I can give him credit for that. I know his effort today on defense, pathetic, piss poor, all the words you want to use for it. But I mean, still, like, it's already a bad defense. I don't think it gets any better, even if you take him off outside of you got to address the lack of hustle plays.
Oh, that's kind of what I'm wondering too, Dave. Is like, you're so banged up at DB, like I don't think you can just tell him to get. And I mean, he pulled a Kamal Hadden against Florida a few years ago on that play. That was pathetic.
He just stopped running.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have
stopped running, stopped carrying.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been way downfield. They might have ended up scoring, but I can't believe that kid from Kentucky was going to completely outrun him to the end zone. He just wasn't paying attention.
We did what I thought we'd do tonight, guys. Davey, I got a question. Where in the world did that report come from Steve Sarkisian? I mean, did he relapse last night and just start sending texts? What happened with that?
When you say report, are you talking about the rumors that he would be interested in the Tennessee Titans job?
Yeah, well, NFL, yeah, and Titans.
I mean, I think he's a guy that doesn't really enjoy the recruiting aspects of the game. And obviously you continue to see coaches talk about how the NIL, transfer portal, all that has made a lot of guys want to jump ship and go to the league. And I mean, I don't see an NFL team looking to hire him, but I'm sure, I haven't checked this, but I would imagine he is a Jimmy Sexton client. And if it's that time of year where Jimmy gets his guys paid, and right now, I think he wouldn't mind resetting his clock, because, I mean, Texas is another school. You just have a lot of things go wrong. And right now he doesn't have a quarterback that he's going to be able to build around moving forward, because we all know, like, Arch Manning ain't it. And I don't think another year of experience is going to help him as far as getting that Texas team to where they want to be. They're likely going to go out and look into the transfer portal for another option after this season.
Nico.
Yeah. Arch got concussed today. I don't know if you guys saw that hit.
Yeah, he got his egg scrambled.
Have you guys seen this is from Carter Carrells on X? Hope I'm not getting Baskerville here, but Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed said Tommy Moffitt brought a tackle dummy with Brian Kelly's face on it to practice Thursday.
Yeah, I saw that. Strength and conditioning coach from 3 national championships.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Well, guys, I really don't have much more. I mean, they did what they thought they did. Our defense, though, man, I'm worried about next week. They made mention on the broadcast about how bad Oklahoma's offensive line is, that we should be able to get to them. But, I mean, again, kind of like Russ said to Bear, we made Kentucky's offense tonight look infallible. God, man, they look like they could have worked on Biden's border, honestly. Just not stopping anybody. Guys, that's all I got.
Thank you, DR. Appreciate the phone call. 865-966-3435. Your number if you want to get on the show here this afternoon, this evening, this morning.
Just a quick update. The Pavia lawsuit, that continues. And there was a report, I guess it would have been Thursday. They're looking to add plaintiffs to the case. So other guys that had years of JUCO experience. And again, the basis of the lawsuit is that JUCO years will not count at all towards NCAA eligibility. So therefore, if this is approved, none of Joey's years playing at the college in California would count towards his eligibility, and he would have an additional year to where he could play in college at UT.
Pavia now? I mean, he's like 25, 26.
So he's already said he's entering the NFL draft after this season, so he's not coming back. But it's kind of like
entering the NFL draft for what?
That's what I'm just saying what he has said, Bear. I don't think he'll get drafted, but he could be one of those guys they take a flyer on in the 7th round. He's just got the grit.
Yeah. Pavia will get a shot.
Was he like 5'9"?
No, he's 6 feet. He's like 6 feet, 200.
Nobody cares about size anymore. I mean, look at all the small. I mean, Cam Wart's not a very big guy. Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl and Drew Brees was maybe 6 feet tall. It's a tough dude, man. It's a tough guy.
Yeah, but then you also look at the Bryce Young experiment over in Carolina and how
it's going better.
It is going better, but, you know, guys in the NFL, they love a tall quarterback, man.
Wow. What happened to your boys? What happened to the Sun Devils today, Walkman?
One of the best receivers in the country, Jordan Tyson, didn't play. Started to mount a comeback, but then Sam Levitt got hurt again towards the end of the game, so we're unable to pull it out. We did make them sweat it, though, but first loss for the Sun Devils at home since 2023.
Oof.
Not good.
I mean, aside from the obvious benefit of having Joey back next year and that you'll have a really good quarterback, I just think that would be the best case scenario for George McIntyre and Faison Brandon to come in and, you know, get some experience behind him, compete a little bit, and it'll give Heupel and Halsley and those guys a chance to evaluate the two of them because, you know, McIntyre and Brandon are not both going to start here.
No.
We're going to have to choose one. You know, we're going to choose between the two, and the other one's going to bolt. And so, like, that gives if they come back, that gives you a full year to sort of evaluate what you have, and you go from there. I don't think any of us want to just turn over the keys to George McIntyre next year.
I don't see that.
That feels like another Nico situation.
Well, that and you aren't going to turn it over to a freshman. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. Do you think George will stick around for another year behind Joey?
Yeah, I think so. If it's 1 year and he's confident in his ability
to beat out,
to learn the system, and he's the backup and get some mop up time and all that.
Go get my boy Drew Mestamaker out of North Texas.
Yeah, so that's now he's a redshirt freshman, so it would be his 3rd year. Mestamaker with the mean green. He threw for like what 700 yards last night?
It was over 600. So, and here's the tie on that. So the head coach at North Texas is Eric Morris. Eric Morris was a wide receiver at Texas Tech under Mike Leach. Now, Eric Morris has gone out and found quarterbacks in not so likely places. He was a guy who recruited a quarterback by the name of Cam Ward to Incarnate Word. He also was the guy that found John Mateer. And during his time at Texas Tech, he helped lead a guy named Patrick Mahomes to one of the best college passing performances in Big 12 history. So, the guy's obviously got a track record, and this Mestamaker kid is his next target. And right now, it seems to be going very well. And it's just a matter of time till a big school decides to pay up and brings him in for next year with a good chunk of NIL money.
All right, then. Let's get our next caller, Booby.
Nope, Booby dropped.
He dropped.
No Booby?
No booby.
We've been rendered boobyless?
They took our booby from us.
I hate when that happens.
Truly.
Joshy Boy is next. Go ahead, Joshy Boy.
What's up? You guys got me?
Hey, we got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know if I said it this week to you guys when I called in, but definitely this week, get right game for the offense, and the offense got right. Defense, not so much. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But we kind of are what we are at this point, Joshy Boy?
Yeah, I'd rather put Tennessee blind on defense rather than our defense, and it'd probably have much better luck to make a stop.
And we just you got to find a way. I know people are all over Tim Banks right now, and they want him to. There's nobody else out there, man. We can play true freshman. I guess you could play. Is it Dylan Lewis or I don't even know what. I don't even know who we have back there. You got some walk-ons. You got some true freshmen that you could throw out there and give it a try.
Yeah. Russ, I think we all can agree on that our offense is going to carry us as far as it can, but when it comes nut-cutting time, that the defense is going to have to win us one of these three remaining games. Oklahoma at home, at Florida, and Vandy at home.
They won you Mississippi State.
No, I said the last remaining three games.
Yeah, they'll have to step up. No disagreement.
Yeah,
with you
it
there.
is.
We just
right.
Here's the thing. I don't want to discourage fan. Like, first of all, we should be celebrating, right? We won a game decisively on the road in the SEC at night, and that's always been difficult for Heupel. I don't know that this is ultimately a playoff team, Joshy Boy. I just don't think our defense is good enough. And I don't know how much of that is fair, really, to put on Tim Banks.
Yeah. I mean, we could have scored 70 tonight if we wanted to, I think, on the Wildcats.
Yeah, but is that like kind of the Josh Heupel MO of you crush the teams you're supposed to crush, but when anyone is kind of close to that level, they'll push them a little bit, and that's how we end up with these road losses and stuff like that could happen tonight. I mean, Kentucky is just like they're the worst team in the conference. This is what we're supposed to do.
That's true. Well, guys, what do we think about old Comrade Gullish going down in defeat today to Memphis?
That was a rough one. I think they lost, or they were outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter by Memphis.
Yeah. Yep.
It's unfortunate. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yeah. So, can we all agree on that? I think they need to stop rotating the three-man running back rotation. I'm fine with Starr and Deshaun, but I'm out on Peyton Lewis. I feel like Starr and Bishop just need most of the carries. And
I don't know. Peyton Lewis is really good in the short yardage stuff, and
he is.
his pass blocking has improved. I think they were. I don't know. Deshaun doesn't need 20, 25 touches a game. He'll never make. He's just not that big.
Right.
I mean, he's yoked out. I mean, he's worked really hard, and he's in incredible shape. But
that's true.
Josh, boy, I didn't have a problem with the way they split carries tonight. Obviously, the second half, you're just trying to get out of there pretty early on. But Bishop had 14, Star Thomas had 10, and Peyton Lewis had 4.
I mean, if it's like an emergency situation when one of Deshaun or Star goes down, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But Peyton Lewis is a good guy that would come in and give you a lot of carries because he's big and physical.
Yeah, but I don't see them being in a situation where it's like, hey, this is a game-winning drive. You have to score here to either win or keep the game alive. And it's like Peyton Lewis is in the backfield at that point. Like that's going to be Bishop or Star. I'm with you. I would say I would pick Lewis as the third member of that group as far as who I want to see the most of. But I don't really have an issue with the usage and how they've used the running backs for majority of this season. I get early on, they were just trying to fill it out and see what they had because it was really, we're talking about a guy in Bishop that, got put on scholarship not too long ago.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to make 2 points and I'll leave you with this. Guys, Danny Dimes finally done something right by naming Josh Helander the head coach of your Tennessee baseball Volunteers. Good decision, Danny Dimes. And out the door, Russ, I have to do it for you. Great win. Back to the coal mines, Kentucky.
Thank you, Joshy boy. Appreciate the phone call.
I thought he was going to say something about shoving a common school item up somebody's rear end sideways.
Mark Stoops is too down for that.
Yeah.
You think
what's the buyouts? I get all these buyouts confused. Was it just Billy who's due like $20 million within 30 days, or does Stoops have one of those things too?
Stoops is one of those types, if I'm not mistaken.
It may be split up, and I want to say the number that I want to say is like 60 days for a chunk of it, maybe. I don't know. It's like 2 years worth of their basketball budget.
The reported buyout, this is according to Google AI, for Kentucky coach Mark Stoops is approximately $37.7 million, which would be due in a lump sum within 60 days if he were terminated.
He ain't going nowhere. They just don't care about football.
$37 million.
Although it has to make more money,
oh my
you
Lord,
would think, than basketball. Not that they care.
In 60 days, you have to write him a check for $37.7 million.
Yeah,
I believe I don't care how bad it is. I'd be showing up to work. Now, I might go full Costanza. Remember when George Costanza was trying to get fired from the Yankees?
He's dragging around a World Series.
Yeah, he's like putting on Babe Ruth's uniform, wiping wing sauce all over it.
That was a good one.
There's probably some donor in Kentucky that's like boosting up the stud fees for his horses just to try to fund the buyout for Stoops.
I don't know. Those people, if I'm those people up there as ate up with it about basketball as they are, I just go ahead and keep him. I'd rather spend this 37.7, whatever the number is. I'd rather just keep that in the basketball. Like literally, they wouldn't care if football went 0-12 as long as they're back in Final Fours and winning natties in basketball. Do you think, Davey? You're the blue blood fan, basketball guru.
Their fan base would like to be good at football, but is by no means we have to be good at football as long as the basketball program is rolling. And right now they feel like Pope is the answer. They're going to put all their eggs into that basket. And right now, until they absolutely have to, they're not going to blow Stoops out of there.
They did pretty much run Purdue at home last night.
Did they?
Handled them.
Hate that for Bob.
It's exhibition basketball, and announcers, I think Jimmy Dykes was there, and he was basically saying, like, look, Matt Painter will love this because their team is so hyped, you know,
And they can take him back.
Yeah, he'll be able to really break him down. So I don't think that you read too much into any of these exhibitions, but yeah, old Mark Stoops. What could you do to get fired to where they have to fire you, pay you that buyout, but you're not fired for cause? Like, you can't just like no show. You can't be going in late or anything. But what could he do to?
I don't
Lose
know.
to Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, they might have no choice but to do it then. The problem would be, I mean, if the fans really cared about it, they just stopped showing up at all. Like,
they got out of there early.
Like, yeah, but they still went in and spent enough money.
They play Auburn next week.
Remember when we had to do that? Tennessee fans just stopped showing up for the games.
Yeah, it was about 10 years.
I remember.
Well, I mean, they kept making changes, and we kept not showing up when they make bad hires.
You know, we had the obligatory throw to the tailback that went off his fingertips. We did finally figure out a way to complete a pass to a tailback.
Yeah, we did.
We just lined up Staley in the backfield and threw it to him.
Ethan Davis looked good. I'll tell you another thing hadn't been mentioned yet. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it, Russell. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we were not penalized as much as Kentucky.
I also don't think we had a lay-down lineman appearance tonight.
Penalties tonight: Tennessee 6 for 56 yards, Kentucky 8 for 73 yards.
Ooh,
hey,
you know why we probably didn't have that lay down lineman?
Why?
Because Texas A&M got fined for it last week.
That's true.
No, they got fined because the coach
for a lineman, but it was a faking an injury.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the ball had already been set, and then they did it right in front of the referee. The coach was pointing at the kid and then pointing at the ground. Then he laid down.
But if that fine is, everyone knows that happened. I'm sure there was another memo that was sent behind the scenes saying, like, we're seeing this, like, cut the shit.
I don't know. I'll still contend. I mean, I don't think they should keep doing it, but with linemen, the way they're all braced up, you can't prove that it's not real.
I mean, you need to rotate the guy. I mean, if it's the same guy, you're trotting out there every single time.
I think the story of the year is like what's going on with Indiana, where
they're just really good.
They're kind of like the reverse Kentucky, where they've been. You don't think they're good?
No, I don't.
Have you watched them play?
Don't start talking over me.
Bear,
for the love of God.
Bear doesn't like it when people talk over him.
No,
he doesn't like to be interrupted.
I don't. Look up who they've beat, what the combined record of who they beat in conference. There's one they've got. It's like 1 and something.
Okay, but one of those opponents was Oregon in Autzen and made them look not great.
They're 1 win. I mean, the rest of them are terrible.
So who's good?
Who's good right now? I would say Texas A&M, Ohio State.
Who's Ohio State beating?
It's a fact.
Not really anybody.
I mean, we can do we can do this with everybody. I mean, who's A&M? Like who have they beaten? They beat LSU, who
I just think Indiana's they're a great story, and I see why everybody's getting on the bandwagon.
They're really good. They're a basketball school that's been lost in the wilderness forever, and I feel like they might be because they've got this Signetti guy locked up. Yeah. He doesn't look like he wants to go anywhere. They might just be like, "Ah, the hell with it. This football stuff's pretty fun."
This is the equivalent of Nebraska basketball becoming a number 1 seed. That's what this is looking like. Like this is one of the best 4 teams in college football.
I know a lot of people were commenting about like it was a bad decision to give Signetti that deal. I completely disagree because what's the worst that can happen? You just go back to being Indiana football. Like exactly. You don't want to lose your coach.
He's 64, Dave, so it's you lock into Heupel or Kiffin or Jimbo with a massive deal when these guys are in their 40s or early 50s. And it's like they're not going anywhere. I mean, like that dude's only got 5 or 6 years. He's not going to fall off that badly. Like he's not going to go from what he's been the last 2 years to 3 and 9.
Yeah, the big thing for him.
All I'm saying is, go ahead, Davey. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But I was just going to say the big thing for him is, can he develop a quarterback, or like what happens if he misses on the guy he gets out of the portal? Because right now, Fernando Mendoza, like there's a high likelihood like he's the number 1 overall pick, and if not that, at least a top 5 pick in the NFL draft next year. So he's landing on these guys that are coming in to run that system. It's like, what happens if you actually miss there?
So they've beaten. This is who all they've beaten. This, I mean, they played nobody other than Oregon. Old Dominion. They're a known football powerhouse. Kennesaw State, Indiana State.
Oh, their schedule is
Illinois,
atrocious.
Iowa, Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA today.
Iowa's a good football
They
team.
go to Maryland and Penn State, and then Wisconsin and Purdue. I mean, at this point, we'd be either 7-0 or 6-1, even with our defensive woes. Oregon might have beaten us, but we're beating every other team on this.
I would not give our team.
I'm just saying that it's not going to shock me at all if they get popped in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's where it all comes down to, is like what actually happens this year when you play in the playoffs. Because that loss they had to Notre Dame last year, memory serves, it was like 27-17, but it wasn't actually that close.
Wasn't close.
Yeah, you actually look competent and are able to get a playoff win. Now, granted, they'll be hosting a playoff game this year, so
I mean, Purdue, they have a losing record. Wisconsin, Fickle should probably get fired. Penn State, their coaches are. Penn State's their toughest game left. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with them. I'm just saying it's not going to surprise me at all if they get absolutely just bashed in the playoffs. That being said, I've been wrong before. They might make the national championship game.
Tampa Vol in the text box says, Russell, terrible take. It's year 5. Just because we have corners out doesn't mean we should have garbage defense. Vandy's defense is better than ours. We need a defense and a quarterback at minimum.
Quarterback?
I'm wondering if he meant to hit.
For next year. We don't need a quarterback right now.
Yeah, or he might have fat-thumbed QB instead of CB. He might be wanting a corner.
True.
I don't know. We lost our 2 starting corners. One was All-American and still slated as a first-round draft pick. I mean, Pierce is a first-round draft pick. He's tearing it up for Atlanta right now. Our 2 interior linemen until – which one blew his knee out? Was it Omar or Amari Thomas? Well, one of the guys ended their season ended last week with a big injury. But, I mean – 3/4 of your defensive line, 2 starting corners. I'm willing to cut him a little bit of slack.
Another person says, do we think the FBI should investigate Tim Banks? He might be involved with Chauncey Billups' gambling scandal. Banks has the over on every Tennessee game. Ouch. Text box not being kind to Tim Banks.
I think that's a little bit rude.
One person says Peyton threw for 523 against Kentucky in 97.
Ooh.
They showed it tonight, evidently.
Yeah, he threw multiple games over 500. Or at least, over 400. And there were, I think, at least 2 times he threw for like 399.
That was back when the grass was still, remember, it turned like white towards the end of the year up there.
Oh, yeah.
The Bermuda.
I missed that.
I do too.
865-966-3435, your phone number. A couple lines available right now for the first time this evening. If you want to jump in, now's a great time to take a shot. 865-966-3435. Let's talk to Jesse. Hello, Jesse.
Russ, how are you? It's a lot. They're not as much panic now after what we had at halftime, which is good.
You know, I wasn't panicking. It was frustrating. It's not fun to watch us play defense. And at no point did I feel like we were in danger of losing tonight, Jesse, but it was just, it's frustrating. And, you know, we had this playoff conversation, and we all know if we continue to play defense like we are, we're going to get smashed by somebody.
Well, so here's where I'm at. I think we're all in agreement. Like Tim Banks is at least going nowhere until the end of the year. And like, I honestly believe if like we put up the same offense output, or at least like 80% of it tonight, we're probably going to win the rest of our schedule. Like I'll say this, I heard so many comparisons this week about the Cincinnati defense, but like we were near the bottom in the league that year of takeaways and sacks. This year we're near the top. So like we're getting our moments. It's just a matter of cashing in on them. And Davey, it's good to hear y'all tonight, but the one thing that's going to be interesting for me in the development of Heupel is, and y'all talked about it, is how many schools are just having firings and all these staff. Basically, the market's going to be flooded with coaches. And I'm curious to see if Heupel dabbles or takes a look to see, hey, things are getting a little stale around here. We need to make some changes. And I think that's probably where a lot of frustration is with people. So, because I mean, there's going to be tons of defensive coaches.
No, it's yeah.
Right for the picking.
There's going to be a lot of people on the market. My big thing though is how many coaches, if you're talking about the top defensive coordinators, want to come in and be a coordinator under Josh Heupel's system, because you're going to stress that defense more than most offenses in college football. And I know our fan base is going to hear what I'm about to say and just be like, there's no way in hell that's the case. In terms of top assistants in college football, as far as people that could be looking to get like a group of 5 job, Tim Banks is viewed very highly as far as potential guys that could be making that jump. Now, I don't know what his aspirations are if he wants to do that, but there's a higher likelihood of him being hired as a head coach than there is of Josh Heupel firing him after this season.
I agree with you on that. And I think y'all mentioned it right before I got on is, who knows what Wisconsin's going to do with Luke Fickell. But you just take a look at hot seat coaches or coaches that have been fired. Brent Pry was a longtime defensive coach at Penn State. Fickell has been around the block. Like, if some of these head coaches that got fired from that background, I do think you could freshen it up. I personally don't mind Tim Banks. We've seen enough issues with injuries, people going to pro, transfers. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't think the sky's falling with our defense, because I've seen tons of people we're going to have to score 50 or 60 to win out. And it's just, as bad as our defense is on giving up production, we're still getting opportunistic and cashing in those plays. So, y'all take it easy. Bear, a fun stat for you. In the last 4 years, Josh Heupel was 9-2 in one possession games. So even though everything's doom and gloom with our defense, I do think if we get in some close games to close out here the stretch, as much as I've been harsh on Josh Heupel, recency bias in the last 4 years, he converts one possession games into victories at a high rate. Go Vols. Talk to y'all later.
I think he's also I think it's 27-2 when he's got the lead at halftime.
Oh, it's more than that. I think it's up in the 30s now.
Is it? Well, they showed it tonight.
Yeah.
They showed the graphic.
There's only 2 losses.
I thought it said 26. I may be wrong. Maybe it's 36-2.
Even if Banks were to leave, what are the odds you guys think they would just promote from within?
It's a good point.
Unbelievably high. I think it would be just
William Inge.
Yeah, he's going to slob one of his guys in there.
Wasn't Inge? Inge was co-coordinator under Kalen DeBoer at Washington. I don't know if he was the actual play caller or not, but
I thought we'd do better against them with Inge knowing them so well.
Would he be the number 1 guy on our staff you'd look to?
I mean, that's been Heupel's MO. First of all, Heupel has literally never fired anyone.
No,
people
never.
just leave.
Going back to his time at UCF, I don't think he's ever fired an assistant coach. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's ever fired anybody.
You think he just can't do it?
I think that if you want to like try and get into his psyche, like there's probably part of him that's still hurt from being fired himself. He feels unjustly and scapegoated. So like he's hesitant to do it for that reason. And then I think he's a loyal guy and he's a continuity guy. And he just doesn't like to shake things up. He doesn't like to change. You know, he'll tweak. Like, look at what he's done with his offense. He'll tweak things, but he's not just going to be like, oh, my offense was bad this year. I guess we'll just throw it out, hire a new offensive coordinator, new play calls, new system, and everything. He's not going to change what he does.
No.
And so like say he wanted to fire Tim Banks, like a lot of y'all want him to do, and say Brent Venables becomes available. I don't think he would, but let's, hypothetically, let's game this out. So I think for a guy like that, Brent Venables, who's been such a successful defensive coordinator and now has been a head coach, you can't do what Botch did with Bob Shoop, right? Where, hey, I've got the 3 assistants. I'm just going to hire you a coordinator, and you're going to work with the assistants on the defensive side that we've already got here. Like I think with Venables, you'd have to blow out your whole staff, right? Well, you're not going to blow out Rodney Garner.
I mean, there's guys on here that have been used for recruiting and done really well on defense. Like, you think they're just going to let a guy like Chop just leave for a new staff? I mean, like, he's one of our best recruiters on there. Yeah, I mean, Willie Martinez has done a really good job with a banged-up secondary. These are all really good assistants that could get promoted, and we wouldn't want to see leave if we brought in an outside defensive coordinator.
My big thing would just be, if you are one of these top defensive coordinators, you're going to have your pick of options. Why would Tennessee kind of be at that top based off how we run our offense?
Well, that's a good point too. I mean, like, he could not give the job away when he first got here. I mean, Tim Banks was maybe his 10th choice. Remember all the guys we tried? Like, the first choice was that Al Washington guy at Ohio State, and like, whatever happened to him? And then at one point we had gotten down to Casey Rogers, and there were a bunch of other guys that, like, we don't even remember that we tried to give the job to, and it got all the way down to Tim Banks. Now, you might say that things are different now, that at that time we were on probation. Heupel wasn't the first choice. It was a train wreck. Nobody wanted to be here. Now things are more stable. We've won some games. But I still think, Davey, that people like good defensive coordinators are going to be like, man, you put your defense in some tough spots. Like, if I go there and it doesn't go well for me, that's my career.
I know a defensive coordinator who's looking for work that played at Tennessee.
I thought you were talking about the guy who's
Give me a hint.
in Murfreesboro, but go ahead.
He was also an assistant at Tennessee in the last decade.
Former player, former coordinator.
A lot of SEC experience.
Damn.
Kevin Steele?
It is Kevin Steele.
Get the hell out of here, Davey.
His name came up because of us having to promote from, or when they named Frank the interim head coach this week. And I can't remember, what was the phrase he said in front of was it
Need you
Bev?
to be a shepherd.
Yeah, that's what it was. Was it Bev or Don? I guess Donnie would have been here at that point, but basically goes in and said, I'm not a fucking substitute teacher.
I wonder if that's when she realized she hadn't been here long when the $3-week $1 million job. Can you imagine somebody just cutting you a check for $1 million for working for 3 damn weeks? The only people that really make that kind of money are rock stars.
Can you imagine? Mark Stoops is about to collect $37 million
for being bad at his job.
That's incredible. Like if you are Kentucky, if I'm the big boosters up there, I'm saying, okay, we'll do this because we have to. But first of all, Mitch Barnhart, like, you're done, because that's the worst contract maybe in Southeastern Conference history. Like, I cannot believe you gave this guy whatever that deal was. So you're gone, and we're picking the next coach.
Oh, I mean, if some of their mega boosters have to pony up, like if they do, I don't think they'll get beat by Tennessee Tech, but they could.
Think about what a failure Mitch Barnhart is as an athletics director.
Who else he hired?
He gave Calipari that lifetime contract that they almost couldn't get out of. Fortunately, he took another job, and he gave Stoops this contract.
Sounds like, I mean, the whole thing that's keeping him afloat at Kentucky is the fact that he hired Mark Pope, who is an ex-player that played for Kentucky, who anyone would have given that job
Yeah,
to.
but he probably didn't actually do the hire. I mean, he probably got told that's who he was hiring.
But I mean, if that works out, that's all they care about at Kentucky. If he hired a good basketball coach, like, who gives a damn about football down up there? It's basketball only.
I can't stand Mark Pope. He's a punk and a clown. I didn't like him back when he played there. Did you?
I mean, I didn't mind him, like, for a Kentucky guy. I could name you like a dozen Kentucky guys I hated more than Mark Pope.
Who's number one?
Travis Ford, probably.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Scott Paget. Basically any Caucasian player they had that lit us up at any point in time. All right, guys, let's talk for a minute about the baseball thing. Davey, it was a rough week in Big Orange Country. Tony Vitello left us. The vibes have been low all week long around the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios and on Vol Twitter and these internet streets. I mean, it's just been a tough week. It felt like the news that Josh Elander gets the job today was a relief, and it doesn't cover up for Tony being gone. That still hurts, probably always will. But this feels like the only solution that could have brought Vol Nation together.
I agree with that. I would say I don't have a feel one way or another of like, hey, is this going to work out? But what I do know is you're at least able to keep the continuity. You look at Elander, being in charge of recruiting, where Tennessee is ranked in these recruiting classes. And right now you got to look ahead at the 2026 and the 2027 recruiting class. And the 2027 recruiting class in college baseball might be the most important recruiting class since the early 90s, because the likelihood of an MLB lockout is on the horizon. And if that does in fact happen, you're going to see a lot more, especially of these top players, go to college just because they can be guaranteed a paycheck.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but that lockout's it's going to be a tough pill for them when they figure out they've got to be here for 3 years. And that lockout, how long do you think the lockout's going to, I don't know.
It's going to be ugly.
When it dawned on it was when the video came out today and you saw the team's reaction, the former players, everybody around the program, it was,
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I like the move just simply because you've built something incredibly special and something that's not been seen in college sports for the most part. Like, I mean, that video that the Vol baseball team put out today when they announced him, it's like that one gets you in your feels. It's like these players truly love that man and wanted him to be their coach. And I'm at least glad to see that.
Do you guys think that Danny White truly executed a national search as he promised he would, interviewing lots of other people? Or do you think that he was either told by people above him, boosters or administrators, or was smart enough to feel and recognize that he lost some political capital this week with the way the Tony thing went down, regardless of what happened behind the scenes. I don't know. You don't know. We may never know whether or not he could have kept Tony Vitello. But do you think that he honestly interviewed all these dudes from around the country in 2 days and decided that Josh Elander was the correct guy? Or do you think he just realized, it's like, man, there's might be a mutiny here, and my approval rating has been cut in half. Yeah. And if I bring somebody else in and it goes poorly, I might be underwater all of a sudden. And these things change quickly, man, where guys are riding high. Yeah, everybody loves them. And just a couple of things go wrong, whether you're a coach, an administrator, whatever, and all of a sudden the Wolves are at the door and you're done.
I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think he probably, just from the outside looking in, I think he probably would have liked to have maybe blown it all out and just started over with his guy. I do think that if I had to guess, I mean, one of the like a Pratt or somebody like that, and the former players, and he just, like you said, looked at his numbers and realized that he had bigger fish to fry. Go ahead and give the fans what they wanted, and the players what they wanted, which was Josh Elander to get a shot at it and just be done with it.
I view him as a guy that is incredibly aware of the optics. He does know at the end of the day that really winning is all that matters. And so as long as he puts out a winner, it's not going to be an issue. But we also talk about him being a guy. There's a reason they call him Danny Dimes, Danny Dollars, because at the end of the day, he cares about the budget most importantly and making sure that Tennessee has the funds. And this is a sport. We talk about it. Like, while it's fun, we're having a good time with it. It doesn't generate revenue. And so if you're him, why send a message on something that really, when you look at the key things you actually care about, and I'm not saying this by what he said, I'm saying this by his actions, why put yourself in the crosshairs when you have that easy out in just hiring Josh Elander?
Yeah, but the problem I have with that, it was incredibly short-sighted by him. If it's true that he really only talked to Tony once last week, I realize our baseball program isn't a revenue sport, but having Tony Vitello as one of the faces, big time of your athletics program, I don't know how you can quantify what he was worth to the athletic department. I think it's worth a lot more than just being the head coach of the baseball team, though.
I agree. I would also say, though, that if, there are the reports that are true, and listen, like, I mean, I've heard not the report, but more so the rumors that, Danny and Tony weren't seeing eye to eye. And Josh Elander's a guy you can say no to. And I think Danny was finding out that was a lot more difficult with Tony. So that's one less headache Danny has to worry about.
I'm sure there's probably some sort of middle ground there where he definitely had an idea of guys he wanted in here. Like the guy out at Oregon, Dabrowski, or whatever his name is. Like, his name doesn't leak immediately after without there being some smoke around there. He doesn't come in and interview Schnall, the guy over at Coastal Carolina, if he didn't have the idea to do a full search. That was probably his plan from the get-go. And I bet he had help getting to the decision of like, hey, maybe we don't have to overthink the room here and just hire the guy that's already in the room.
Well, again, going back to the optics, he's going to do that due diligence and make sure he covers all his bases. Yeah. Like that's something that, he's very meticulous in that approach.
The optics aren't something that just Danny considers, right? Like, I wonder Schnall and these other guys, if they're interviewing, and the baseball fraternity is really close knit. Like, all those guys know each other and they know what a rock star Tony Vitello was here. And I just wonder if they look at it and they're like, dude, you got Josh Elander there. Like, I'm not walking into a mutiny. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to leave a steady job to go into a place where people are they're going to be angry that the other guy left, and they're angry that I'm here instead of the guy that was passed over.
I mean, well, not just that. Like, they're probably like, okay, what guarantee can you give me that all of these players are going to stay on this roster that you say is going to be ready to build?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Kevin Chenault, one of the best coaches in the country, could walk in. Okay, he's still not my guy, the recruits could say. And then they could enter the transfer portal and be gone. And then we could have a bad baseball team. And whoever he interviewed definitely saw that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't actually think that was a big problem because if you were to transfer at this point, you wouldn't be eligible for the spring.
Yeah, you're right, Davey. But the recruiting class would fall apart.
No.
And
We all are transferring out this year.
We are all painfully aware of how quickly you can take a program that's one of the more dominant ones in the country and completely destroy it in the span of just 2 or 3 years.
No, I'm completely with you on that, Bear. I was just simply saying, as it related to having to worry about like the team you currently have on campus just leaving before the season even started in the spring.
Yeah, and the guys who worried me most about that were the second-year dudes, the guys in the same class as Jay Abernathy, those types of guys that were, along for the ride last year and got reps, and then this was going to be their moment, and Vitello leaves, and now they're like, okay, is it better for me to leave than go on? So hopefully this is going to keep all of those guys in town, of that class specifically, the second-year guys.
I don't know if anyone
relying on.
knows this, but are we currently within the proper limits as it relates to roster size? Because I know that was a point of contention.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we are. I think he wanted the full, I think that was the deal. Tony wanted to fully have, what was it, 34, have all 34 scholarships?
Well, we had 34, but I mean, we were like, to answer your question, Davey, like, I think we're still way over.
That's what I was thinking.
Elander's going to have to make those hard calls. I would be more worried as far as like losing players like the true freshmen like Ethan Moore or the Appenzeller kid who are like, I've got to be in amateur baseball for 3 years anyway. It's my first year. I might as well go down to JUCO, play wherever, and then be re-recruited and go and play for who I want to play, whoever my second choice was, or be re-recruited and maybe have a new first choice and go play for LSU or South Carolina or Florida or something like that in 2027. I think it was a smart move because again, like not just the former players, congratulations, but you see a lot of the recruits are like, yeah, I'm back in, I'm all in, 100% committed. Let's do it.
This isn't baseball, but just on that note right there, Russ, I wish I had the time to do it. I don't, but if anyone is listening and then they would want to do this, once we start to see these college football coaches getting fired, going down their roster and just seeing guys at Tennessee was one of the final choices for as it related to signing day and just who they ultimately committed to, because I do think Tennessee will be incredibly busy, especially on the defensive end when it comes to the transfer portal this offseason.
Oh, I'm sure.
In football?
Yeah. Just talking about all those guys transferring and thinking of like, oh, well, who did Tennessee beat out to get them?
Well, we're one of the youngest teams in the SEC, if not the country. Like over 50% of our audience or our roster is freshmen, true freshmen or redshirt freshmen.
Yes.
And Heupel said, like, we're going to build this thing on recruiting and retention. And the last 3 years, he always brings in, I think we had 7 transfer portal guys this year. It wasn't much more the year before. You think we're going to go harder this year?
I think with as many problems as we've had, I think they're going to have to at least pony up in some positions. But I mean, you're going to have here's the thing I would say to that, Russ. A lot of the guys that you have your money tied up into right now, like I look at, Jermod McCoy, he's obviously gone. You're probably losing Josephs.
Losing Hood.
I mean, which I don't think he's getting paid that much, in the grand scheme of things, but you're going to have money open. Is that something where you even look at the guys you currently have on your roster and you're like, you know what, these guys deserve a pay raise?
I think we've got a lot of freshmen and redshirt freshmen who we've seen sparingly or not at all. And if we're paying those guys, we need to play them next year.
Yeah. And Heupel, I feel like it's the same type of mentality we're talking about with his coaches. Heupel is a promote from within, loyal guy, and he treats his players the same way. Like, we're not going to see him go out and get an Ole Miss type of transfer class or something like that, or something that some of the mid-tier schools will go and do and pick that off. And like, no, he is loyal to the guys that he recruits and will play them, even if there's guys better in the transfer portal that he maybe be able to go out to afford and get.
It depends. He completely recruited over all the wide receiver recruits he'd brought in. He went out and got Brazel. Matthews was a recruit of his. Staley's a recruit of his. But he's just been very selective about who he's brought in. He's not afraid to go out and get some mercenary help.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to see the double-digit transfers in type of class. From
I think that I want to see a safety, man. I want to see a safety that can come in here and play. You show me you can bring corners out of the portal, and by all means, go get another one. This safety play is atrocious. It is just awful.
Did Turrentine's name get mentioned tonight?
Yeah, I saw him a lot, and it wasn't good. He was routinely burnt 10, 15 yards behind the play.
Yeah.
Or making what I would describe as weak tackling efforts. One Valsbury in the YouTube chat says one of the youngest teams. Look at the starters, all old guys. Like, we do have a lot of veteran starters, but we are one of
there's a big gap.
The youngest team.
We're not on the youngest team. 49% of our roster is freshmen and redshirt freshmen.
And what percentage is sophomores? Do you have that? Is that on the same list?
No, I'm just looking at Google AI here.
I mean, the sophomores is pretty similar. Like, it's well over 50% of our team is underclassmen. Most of them aren't playing because, like we said, like these kids, most of the guys that are starting are veterans. The few veterans that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to bring some of these guys up, and some of them are exciting, man. Like, you've got these receivers, Travis Smith and Rodarius Jackson. Those guys are going to be good. Travis Keys is going to come in. Like, he ain't coming in to ride the bench. The other, like Salisi Moa, Tyreek King.
Mm-hmm.
Like these dudes are coming in. So that's exciting. But we've got some other guys that are. You saw Perlotti tonight.
Hey, with a good
Jaden
linebacking
Harmon
class coming in this next year as well. With, you never know. I mean, Cooper Witten's going to be looking to commit soon, and we're high on his list.
But yeah, man, go get me a safety.
Yeah.
Get me some more defensive linemen, some tackles. Like that situation we had there at the beginning of the season when Hobbs and Moy were out, man, you can't have that.
No.
We were very fortunate to survive that.
We definitely. I don't know. Do you feel like we need linebacker help? Is Carter gone after this year, or is he coming back?
I mean, he's a junior. He could go, but I don't.
He's drafted.
I don't think so. I think he needs to come back and be a leader. T-Lander's going to be back. Harmon, Perlotti, those guys are back. Spillman's back. Yeah, I don't know that you need to go hard after linebackers. Now, some of those guys might bolt. That's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Some might bolt. You need depth.
But we've got better in pass coverage.
Yeah, we've got good linebackers committed. That Braden Rouse kid, that's a top 100 dude. So that's probably not going to be a priority. I would think defensive tackle, defensive back are going to be your priorities.
Center, interior offensive line.
Knowing Heupel, he's probably going to bring in a receiver because it's Heupel. That's what he does. And if we've left out the obvious one, if you can't get Joey back, I think you got to go find a quarterback.
Probably. But, I mean, we don't want to be starting a true freshman, obviously. But, I mean, if we have to, we will. Or we'll just let he and GMAC fight out for it.
You can't do that.
No, we can't do it.
Not in modern college football, man.
Not in the SEC.
These past 2 years taught you those guys are available, or you get Davies guy out of North Texas. There's some dude passing for 1 billion yards right now at South Dakota State that knows football, is probably not a great pro prospect, but has just played a lot and knows the game. Yeah, and you bring him in here at not like Joey in the summer, but you bring him in January, let him learn your system, go through spring practice, and then boom, you do that for a year while you evaluate McIntyre and Brandon, figure out what you got there.
I mean, Kentucky, they started true freshmen tonight, which against our Swiss cheese defense, it looked okay. But he also really looked like a freshman at points.
But they're a good example of a team that's just struck out on a lot of the quarterbacks they've tried to get out of the portal.
Because they keep getting those bums from Penn State.
I mean, you say that Levis was probably the best one they've had.
Yeah. But I mean, like Devin Leary and who'd they have last year? I'm blanking on.
Vandergriff, Brock Vandergriff.
Was it Vandergriff? In his seventh season of college ball or whatever it was.
Now, what was their plan this year? The Calzada kid?
I think
so. Is that his name? Zach Calzada?
Yeah.
Where did he start off at A&M?
Yeah.
A&M, then I think he was at Oklahoma for a minute?
Yeah, he's been at Auburn.
That's where it was, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Zach Calzada beat Alabama with Texas A&M.
Yeah, that was my final leg of a 10-leg parlay. I'll never forget. Would have been $400 richer if he didn't do what he did.
You guys seen what's going on in Salt Lake City?
Oh, it's bad.
I saw Kaden Salter's mom.
Bad scene.
Utah has Dion bent over a barrel.
Oh,
and he's currently viewing all 50 states and several of the territories. 46-0 as they begin the fourth quarter in Salt Lake, and we've got what might be a long Utah touchdown run. They're going to get them out of bounds. So,
well, here's the thing, Russ. They only scored 3 points in the third quarter because it was. I saw a tweet earlier. It was like 43-0 at half, and it was the largest halftime deficit I think maybe in Colorado history, or in a very, very long time. I mean, if you're Dion, man, you've got all the money in the world. They're cutting pieces off of you left and right. You got the health problems. Wouldn't you your kids aren't there anymore. Just take it easy. Take care of your health. Just hang out with Nick Saban, do those commercials.
Guy loves football, man. He just likes to coach.
Boy, the Aggies had fun in Baton Rouge. Now they took over that stadium like we did.
Oh, I mean,
after the game, they're doing their war hymn thing with
weird.
There's like 20,000 people there.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a worse beatdown than what we put on them that year. I mean it was just bad.
Oh, they called the dogs off.
Oh, it was.
I don't even know the type of school that would be a good fit for Brian Kelly. Who
Penn
really
State.
wants to go hire him?
Penn State. I think it fits.
I don't even think they would.
I think they would.
I think he's in. You know who he's after watching, just seeing the look on his face after the game tonight in the press conference. I don't know that he's not far off of Fulmer himself. It's like he's kind of old. He's never really.
I think the Penn State people would be more open to it, Walker, if he did well this year, but they're not good. Like if you just ran off James Franklin, you want somebody that gets you excited. I think they're going to end up with that Brady guy because nobody else, like Matt Rule's not going to get that fan base excited. Brian Kelly's not going to get them excited if he ends up with 4 or 5 losses this year. So what do? You go to the blank slate that everybody can project their hopes and dreams onto. Joe Brady, never been a coach, never been a head coach before. He's got the NFL experience.
Yeah.
He was the whiz kid at LSU in 2019.
I'm
not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying I think that's what they're going to do.
Where's Joe Brady at right now?
It's the Bills.
The Bills OC. I don't know. I mean, I would wonder if it was. I thought it would maybe be something like a Marcus Freeman thing where they just hired from within a guy that everyone wants, similar to what Tennessee baseball did. But they got to go out and get some big name now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hire somebody from inside on a staff that you just blew out of there.
No. I mean, it's just Brian Kelly's the only name that I can see, or they'll go out and get, our guy down there at USF or the Tulane coach. Those are the only two other ones that are trending upwards that I could see Penn State going after.
Be interesting to watch. There's going to be a lot of openings. I mean, there already are.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky fans really think that they're going to fire Stoops. I've noticed on social media.
The basketball managers beat the Duke managers 94-80 tonight.
Eat that one, Davey.
That's huge. That's huge for tomorrow.
Gentlemen, as we wind down another victorious edition of the Voluntary Reaction, big thanks once again to our friends at the Griffin Law Firm. They're online at griffinlawdefense.com. The baseball game in Nashville was canceled tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They said inclement weather, which I did not know was coming this way until I saw that tweet. So,
is it going to rain tomorrow?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh yeah, we're getting rain tomorrow. 95% on Monday, 85% on. Oh, it's going to be a rainy week, boys.
Damn, I needed to chop up the leaves in my front yard.
I'll tell you what it's going to be is cloudy and cold next Saturday night in there.
A high of 58 on Saturday. Whew.
Woof.
Our boy Christopher Gabriel's coming in from Fresno.
All right, Californian boy. Let's see how you do over here when it gets a little bit chilly.
We'll see. I got a friend of mine from Arizona that might be coming in here for this one too. See if he can take the cold.
Looking forward to it. Be a fun weekend.
We got a big show Friday down at Calhoun's on the river. We're giving away the fan run box. Boxy top.
I had a buddy of mine from high school. I can show you on Facebook. He's could not get down to get his name entered yesterday. He's despondent. I didn't realize how much the box was. I knew it was a big deal.
It's taking over Fan Run Nation. Everybody wants it. Davey, you have any idea what might be in that box?
No. Has it been? What would you well, I was trying to think because I've been to the studio, I think, twice in the last 2 months. Has it been at the studio?
It's over on
it's in the warehouse.
The warehouse side.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to think, it's like I don't remember seeing a box, but it's like I heard you guys talking about it, and it's like it's pretty damn big from all accounts.
I mean, we got a whole warehouse for this thing.
A lot of volume.
Like I was hoping it would be, if it were me and I won it and I was, I would like to open that thing up like a couple of mini bikes and a go-kart in there. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
What if it was just like a team of midgets and just jump out?
Call DR and tell him that you had like $100,000 check waiting on him. Get him over here.
5 midgets and a regular guy.
Just the one regular guy.
Just jump out.
Does the regular guy come out first, or do the midgets come out first?
He comes out holding them. They're like draped all over him.
He just throws them around?
Yeah.
I would hope if I got a giant box, there would be no living items inside of it.
You wouldn't want to get a puppy as a present if you wanted a dog?
That's what
is the stuff that's going to be in the box. Is it already in there, or are they going to put it in at the last minute?
I have no idea. They're being the higher ups are being very tight-lipped about it. I don't.
Well, no one's there right now. It's what 1:17 Eastern. You guys just go look at it.
No, because there's cameras all over this facility. And
I tried to get Davey. Full disclosure, I tried to do that, and it's got those big metal. It's like locks.
Well, they're like the latches on like travel cases, like heavy duty travel cases, like musical equipment and stuff, or production equipment, Davey.
Mm.
So I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I guarantee you, boss man Ryan.
Oh yeah, he wants you to go and root around.
Yeah,
you should do that.
Like he's not sitting at his hat. If you get anywhere near that thing, it's going to notify him on his phone. Just call you like, why are you messing with the box?
At halftime of the Utah-Colorado game, it was 43-0. Utah had 398 yards of total offense.
Jesus.
Give me how many yards do you think Colorado had, Bear? Just ballpark it.
58.
Davey?
Probably like in the 40s. Well, I'll say 41.
Walker?
10.
They had negative 18 yards.
Oh,
Winner.
Travis
come
Hunter's
back
not
from
walking
that.
through that door.
Shador Sanders ain't throwing the football there anymore.
Michael Westbrook is not walking through that door.
What's the where did that originate? Who's the coach that said that?
Rick Pitino.
Richard?
Who
You
was
never
he
saw
referring to?
When he was with the Celtics and he was struggling, Rick Pitino. See, I'm surprised Davey doesn't remember
Larry
this
Bird's
coaching
not walking
rant
through.
because that makes me wonder if the rest of our audience doesn't know it. But when Pitino was with the Celtics in the 90s and he was really struggling, he was awful. And he gave a press conference and he said, "Look, folks," in his New York accent, "Look, folks, Larry Bird is not walking through that door. Kevin McHale is not walking through that door. Okay? Robert Parrish is not walking through that door." And he got canned like 2 weeks later.
Yeah. What was the guy's name? The other thing, the Duke is Duke.
Oh,
That was Pete Gillen. Duke is Duke. They're on TV more than Leave It to Beaver reruns.
I gotta get boys.
Yeah. When you have negative 18 total yards at the half,
You're asking
Somebody,
if you're the offensive coordinator, you show up for work Monday and you're like, "All right, let's go over and see what everybody's unit did in the game this week."
let's go look at some offensive film.
What are you doing?
Felt like you could have done
Oh,
better, maybe
man.
getting -1 yards and not -3 on that run. Maybe hit the hole a little better on that one.
it's still amazing to me. I mean, Kyle Whittingham has been at Utah ever since Urban Meyer left.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Whittingham will forever be the most underrated coach in college football until he retires.
But going back to Colorado's offense, somebody put it in a group I was in, but it was like Caden Salter's mom on Facebook. I think it was like earlier this week talking about asking people. I don't know if there's like some fan vote as it relates to nominations for the Heisman, but essentially like, he's put in the time, he's put in the effort. He should be nominated as part of this Heisman vote. And then it's negative 18 yards in the first half for the offense.
No. -18. Is that with sack yards, I'm guessing?
Would have to be.
Yeah, it would have
to be.
I mean, maybe. Some backwards passes, some blown up screens, couple stuffed runs.
I don't know why I'm watching this one. I gotta.
You're a degenerate, a sicko. That's
There was
why.
It's the only game on
Really?
right now.
Yeah.
We need
there was
more
somebody-
West Coast football. We need more
Somebody
late
in the
night.
chat early on was just like, why does Davey keep looking
1:30 in
over
the
his right shoulder? It's like, because there's a TV there, damn it. And I was watching Walker's Arizona State Sun Devils lose.
Hey, that's not nice.
Davey, you got anything gross or weird to throw out there before we take off?
Surprisingly, no. I don't know. I woke up sick, and I've just kind of been in a little bit of a daze. Not happy about it. Got to get
Johnny
through.
Sin's still your favorite actor?
Who's that?
Uh-huh. That's on tape, buddy. It's never going away. got a
I'm
copy.
hoping to be in studio with you guys next week. I know Bear. I know Bear doesn't like it if anyone's sick and is around him. So hopefully, I feel better.
I don't mind now because you're on the other side of the glass, and Walker's still the new guy. If he's crazy, when he gets sick, and he doesn't come in for like a week. So
yeah, that's what I need, Davey. Why don't you come over here and give me the?
I mean, we're a week away. I'm just letting you know. I'm not going to come in if I'm not feeling well.
If
All
anything,
right.
you should be feeling better that he's feeling sick now and get the sickness behind him before he shows up next week.
Vols win it big tonight, 56-34 against the Kentucky Wildcats up at the Krog. Davey Hudson, Walker Smith, Bear, appreciate you guys. Let's get some closing thoughts before I make my way over to Cookout for a little peanut butter fudge milkshake.
Oh,
Dave-O, what do you got?
Really great seeing Joey be able to do what he did today along with that offense. Obviously, other side of the ball, it's frustrating watching this defense struggle, especially against a Wildcat offense like it had been all year. But I mean, this is something I keep harking back on. It's just one of those things. You're still able to get a blowout win where the second half doesn't really matter. And in today's game, it's kind of hard to do. So you get an SEC win on the road, only one more left. So if you can get over that vaunted test of going down to Gainesville, you're at least in a good spot there. And I don't think it'll happen, but the playoffs are still in front of you. And I still think this team should be 9-3, and going into the season, that's a lot better than I thought. I had us at around 8-4. So I do give Josh Heupel credit for continuing to somewhat reload and have this team in playoff contention, as we've already crossed the halfway point of the season.
Well, we got 3 really hard games, I think, left. And so if we go 9-3, that's going to be a hell of an accomplishment, because we'll have gone 2-1 in those if that's the case. And all that being said, I'm not giving up on 10-2. I think 10-2 gets you in the college football playoff. It ain't going to be easy, but how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
Yep.
And as it relates to the exhibition tomorrow, I just hope everybody has fun.
You hope all the boys have a good time out there.
Yeah.
Walker Smith, yeoman's work by you this evening. Give me a parting thought.
Oh, just great win for the Vols. Glad, our offense looked back to looking like a rocket ship. Defense still a problem, and that's just going to be our team the rest of the year. And, yeah, I'm just excited to go watch Rick Barnes shit on Davey and Duke tomorrow. It'll be great.
Wow.
Joe's violence right.
I want Tennessee to win, Walker, just FYI. This is rare. This has never happened in my life where they've come to Thompson Bowling or Tennessee's been to Cameron.
It's going to be cool. I'm really excited for it.
Bear, closing thoughts?
We're more than halfway done with the season. It's going really fast. Just hopefully we can find something to, plug some holes on the defense, and we can stay healthy and finish out strong and close out this season well. Looking forward to Oklahoma, and we put the final nail in Brent Vegetables' coffin.
They were. Is it 6-2? Are we 6-2 now?
Yep,
that is correct.
We're 8/12 of the way, and that reduces to 2/3.
We are 2/3.
We're 66% of the season is gone.
Yeah, flying by as usual, but if we went out, we're going to the playoffs again.
Playoffs? We can get there. We can do it, man.
I hate you said that. The Titans have to play the Colts tomorrow.
Ugh, not in the face. Let's just focus on the task at hand. Huge week. It's the last week of October. We've got the Oklahoma Sooners coming in here a week from tonight, the day after Halloween. We've got a massive fan-run listener event at Calhoun's on the River Friday. We want to see you all out there, see if you can win this box. And then Saturday, we've got dark mode at night. It's going to be a borderline dangerous, hostile atmosphere. So, this is what we wait for.
Oh, yeah.
The season goes by so fast. You spend so much time counting down. This is going to be one of those truly magical college football weeks in East Tennessee. Let's enjoy the hell out of it. Josh Elander, this is your time. Rick Barnes, this is your time. Josh Heupel, this is your time, my man. This is why we pay you $9 million a year. We know you want to beat the Sooners. Let's find a way. If we have to score 70, then that's what we got to do. Let's get it done this week, boys. For Davey and Walker and Bear, I'm Russell Smith. Thank you to Marshall Griffin and the Griffin Law Firm for sponsoring us tonight. We will see you Monday right here on Fan Run Radio.